He thought he got away with it. He thought the lie was buried, the money spent, the problem solved. But he forgot one thing. Karma is patient, and it was about to make one phone call that would flip his entire world upside down. Meet Samir. He's in his mid-20s, working a job that barely pays enough to exist. Every month, it's the same agonizing math. Rent is due. His mother's medical bills are piling up, and the fridge is getting emptier. The weight on his shoulders is immense. You can see it in his eyes. The constant humming stress of a man trying to keep his head above water. He works hard. He's a good son, but life just keeps throwing punches. Every day feels like a losing battle against a stack of bills that never shrinks. He just wants a moment of peace. A single day where he doesn't have to worry about losing everything. One afternoon at the office, Samir is processing vendor invoices. It's tedious, mind-minding work. But as he clicks through the digital payment system, his eyes catch something. A tiny, almost invisible loophole in the approval process. A way to redirect a small payment. It's a flaw, a weakness in the system. Just then, a coworker leans over his shoulder, glances at the screen, and jokes, "I bet you could make a fortune with those. People do it all the time, you know. Skim a little here, a little there. Who would even notice?" The comment was a joke, but it planted a seed in Samir's exhausted mind. A dangerous idea started to take root. That night, Samir couldn't sleep. The landlord's final notice was on his table. His mother had a coughing fit in the other room. The pressure was suffocating. He thought about the loophole. He told himself it wouldn't be stealing, just borrowing, just for a month until his next paycheck. He just needed a little breathing room. With trembling hands, he logged into the system from home. He found a small, overlooked invoice. He created a duplicate payment request to a temporary account he set up. Click. The money was transferred. A wave of guilt washed over him, so strong it made him nauseous. But he pushed it down. "I'll pay it back next month," he whispered to himself. "I promise." The next day, the world felt different. For the first time in months, there was a sense of calm. He paid the overdue rent. He bought all his mother's medications for the month. He even bought groceries, filling the kitchen with food. That evening, his mother smiled, a genuine, peaceful smile he hadn't seen in so long. The house was quiet, free from the tension of impending doom. Samir watched her and thought it was worth it. This was necessary. He had convinced himself that the ends justified the means. The guilt was still there, but it was now buried under a thin layer of relief. But temporary fixes never last. The next month arrived, and things weren't better. They were worse. An unexpected car repair ate up his entire paycheck. There was no way he could pay back the money he borrowed. Panic set in again, colder and sharper this time. So he did it again. He went back to the system, but this time he took more. It was easier the second time. To cover his tracks, he started editing payment records, changing dates, and altering invoice numbers. His boss asked him a casual question about a discrepancy, and the first real lie slipped out of his mouth. It felt slick and unnatural, but it worked. He was no longer just borrowing. He was now actively deceiving. building a prison of lies around himself. He was trapped one rainy afternoon as he was leaving work, distracted and consumed by his own web of deceit. An envelope slipped out of his jacket pocket. It held the cash he had just withdrawn, the money meant to cover another lie. He didn't even notice. A few moments later, the office cleaner, an elderly man with kind eyes, tapped him on the shoulder. He was holding the envelope. "Sir, you dropped this." Samir mumbled his thanks, flustered. As the man handed it back, he looked Samir in the eye and said something simple, yet profound. "Be careful. Money doesn't stay if it's not yours." The words hit Samir like a punch to the gut. This honest, hardworking man, who probably earned a fraction of what Samir did, wouldn't even think of keeping what wasn't his. The shame was suffocating. The universe wasn't done sending him warnings. Back at the office, the fallout from Samir's edited records began. Because of the altered data, an innocent colleague, a family man named Rohan, was wrongly blamed for a financial discrepancy. An internal inquiry was launched, and as a precaution, Rohan's salary was withheld. Samir overheard him on the phone, his voice cracking, explaining to his wife that he couldn't pay their child's school fees. The guilt that had been a dull ache now became a stabbing pain in Samir's chest. He had wanted to solve his problems, but now he had created a nightmare for an innocent family. He had become the very thing he despised, a person who hurts others for their own gain. He had to fix it. He couldn't let Rohan suffer for his mistakes. Samir started frantically trying to reverse the changes he'd made, to somehow untangle the mess without implicating himself. But it was too late. His frantic digital footprint triggered an alert. The system flagged his activity. An official company-wide audit was announced. The next morning, his boss's name flashed on his phone. "Samir, can you come to my office?" His heart pounded in his chest. His hands shook so badly he could barely hold the phone. That night was sleepless. He tossed and turned, the walls of his room closing in. His mother, sensing his distress, came and sat by his bed. "What's wrong, my son? You look like you're carrying the weight of the world." He couldn't bring himself to tell her the truth. The next day felt like a final judgment. In his boss's office, the questions came, sharp and direct. Samir's lies started to unravel, in a desperate, last-ditch effort to save himself. The ugliest thought crossed his mind. He could double down and frame Rohan completely. But as he opened his mouth to speak, he saw the disappointment in his boss's eyes. The company had already pulled the CCTV footage and the server logs. The evidence was undeniable. It showed him, late at night, accessing the files. It showed the digital trail leading directly back to his computer. There was no escape. He was fired on the spot, his career and reputation shattered in a single afternoon. That evening he walked home, a ghost of the man he was. He sat down in front of his mother, the one person he was trying to protect, and confessed everything. The lies, the stealing, the shame. He cried, not for his lost job, but for his lost integrity. When he finished, he waited for her anger, her disappointment. But instead, she just held his hand. She looked at him with sad, loving eyes. and said the words that would change him forever. "My son, hard times are a part of life, but they never give us permission to hurt others to ease our own pain." In the end, there was no dramatic escape. There was only the quiet, difficult work of making things right. Samir sold what little he had to pay back a portion of the money. He went to Rohan and apologized, face to face, confessing everything. It was the hardest thing he ever had to do. He started over, taking a simple, honest job, and slowly began to rebuild his life, piece by piece. He learned the hardest lesson of all. Karma doesn't rush. It doesn't forget. It arrives exactly on time. If this story resonated with you, please show your support by liking this video and sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. In the comments below, I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway from Samir's story. Thanks for watching.